The answers have been difficult to find for too long. Chapter 8. The answers. 2. The questions. And more questions. The following is a list of the questions and more questions that you may have of the universe, along with very brief answers. This includes questions that you may have of me, being that I am the universe also. This may serve as a quick reference and a great panel of ideas for conversation starters at work or over coffee. Sometimes I joke. I would also like to tell you that I came very close to separating these answers and flipping them upside down and backwards in the pages that follow them, and I may still do that if the reviewers, that may be you, really like that idea. I want you to first imagine what that would be like before I just give you all these answers that you may take for granted in their current arrangement. Ta. The following section poses questions, and immediately after the questions in the book follow numbers that correspond to the tenant number that the question gets answered by, hypothetically speaking, of course. So, the first question is, what are we? And that is answered by tenant 1, 2, and 28. We are the energy of the universe moving, aware of itself. What is energy? Energy is anything that is a thing. In physics, it is the mass of an object times the speed of light squared. How are we energy? When you break matter down, you end up with atoms composed of protons, electrons, and neutrons. These are further broken down into quarks and quanta and light. All of these particles are broken down into what we recognize and identify as energy, and it is what we are made of. I am not the best physicist, but I think that you would come to discover this through the study of physics, and astronomy. You do not need to go very deep into them to grasp this. We are masses in motion, and our energy is our mass times the speed of light squared. See explanations of the first law of thermodynamics that state that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. This law implies that everything that is a thing is energy. I hope this helps. I am writing all of this without research, as a friend recently reminded me, except all that I have done in my last 26 years of study, partially unbeknownst to me. What are we doing here? Tenant 3 and 23 help to answer this. We are surviving and alleviating boredom. When are we? Well, tenant 4, 5, and 6 answer this one. We are now. When did time begin? Tenant 7 addresses this one. It did not. When will time end? Also tenant 7. It will not. Where are we? Answered by tenant 8 and 24. We are on Earth, amidst infinite space. What is everything? This is answered by tenant 9. Simply, energy. Can I foresee the future? This is addressed by tenant 10. Yes, to the extent that you are able to foresee the future. Are we free? This is answered by tenant 10 and 16. No. If we were free, we could not act. Something must move us. This is an attempt to be the type of explosion that the human race needs to be propelled in a new direction. What is nature? 10 and 11 addresses the answer to this, and that is, we are, what is nature? Nature is everything that is a thing, and all forces caused by things. What is natural? Tenet 12 addresses this one. What is natural is everything that everything does. What is life all about? Tenet 13 answers this one quite simply. Nothing. We make all that it appears to be about. Life is what we make it. Sound familiar? Can you see what we have made it? What happens when we die? Tenet 14 clearly addresses this one. Nothing. What is human existence? Addressed by Tenet 15. Human existence is. It exists in a moment on a planet. Where are we going? Tenet 17 addresses this. The human race moves toward unity until it does not exist. Major setbacks will only slow this process, such as war and mass killing and indoctrination of some kind that is false and harmful to anyone on this planet. What are we to do here? Tenet 18 addresses this question. We are to get along as best we can while surviving and helping others to do the same. What can we truly know? Addressed by Tenet 19 and 20. We can truly know anything that is real. Of what worth are we? Tenet 21 answers this one bluntly. None. How are we? Answered by Tenet 22. We are ignorant of many things that are right in front of us, like each other. I'm going to interject for the purposes of this audiobook, and I may even change the book itself. But in reference to the how are we question, this points to our origins, and how we are is merely existing as energy that came to be in the form that we are in right now. And that is how we are. For the most part, evolution answers these questions. Why are we? Tenet 26 deals with this one, and it comes to the conclusion that there is no reason why we are. What is love? Answered by Tenet 25. Most basically, love is manifested from energetic forces between two objects. Again, there are tons of resources on love and what it is. The explanations range from physical and chemical explanations to philosophical to romantic and subjective pie-in-the-sky explanations. Most basically, things are moving and taking shapes. Two of my favorite words, hydrophilus and hydrophobic, water-loving and water-fearing, respectively. Oil and water do not love each other. How did life begin? 22 takes this on. Tenet 22, that is. Most likely, life began from hydrothermal vents. We came about naturally through cell generation, which continues to occur today. It has been a long road for us. How will it end? Tenet 14 deals with this one. For us, we either kill ourselves off completely, an object from space collides with our planet, we live this life on this planet until it can no longer support our lives, or we figure out how to get to another object in space to live on, at which point it has not ended for us. Otherwise, there is no foreseeable end to all that we see as matter moving around us. Matter will continue to move along long after we have failed to exist infinitely, if that be the case. Are there gods? 27, tenet number 27 deals with this one and simply says, no. Is there a God, in quotation marks? There is not. Why does everyone think that there is or are gods? Tenet 27 again deals with this one. People are afraid, or they were afraid, when they created them and remain so today. What were people afraid of? Infinity, death, life, being alone, need for social, moral organization. Where are the trillions of people and animals who have lived on the planet through time? They do not exist anymore. The energy that they altered can still be interpreted and absorbed in many ways. How many religions and belief systems have there been? Over 4,200. Does the past exist? No. Does the future exist? No. Then what time period do we live in? Now? How long is now? The moment is infinitely divisible and thus immeasurable. What is wrong with believing in God and an afterlife? It's not true. What is wrong with believing things that are not true? They hurt other people at some point when you base something important on them, like life, government, and general well-being. When I feel God, in quotation marks, as always, what am I feeling? Yourself, as part of the universe, and all that surrounds you, which is also the universe. When I think of this question, I picture people who seem possessed, like in churches when a person becomes filled by the Holy Spirit, in quotes. That's the brain letting out what it has got as freely as you let it. If you let go and let the brain take control, it will do anything, obviously. Knowing that this is your brain, the universe, and you can see how much power you have amongst humans. Feel good, not gods. Why are we here? There is no reason, and we do live with it. Where am I? On Earth with 7 billion other humans, right around 2007. We expect the population to jump dramatically within the next 10 to 20 years. If there is no reason to be here and no purpose to life, then why live it? In light of all that is written here for you, that is a good question for you to answer. All I can tell you is that you are fortunate to exist at all to even ask the question. And what of heavens and hells that we've so cherished? They are non-existent. Why would you want everybody to think the same thing? That is impossible, I must say to the artichoke. Then what is this all about? People have been incredibly cruel to each other because of what they believe and all that occurs in the minds of people, and we do not seem to be aware of it. Everyone can come much closer to each other by believing things that are real, since we never have. Infinity is scarier than any god, if one need be afraid of existence. In truth, we need not be afraid of anything except currently each other. Why attempt to change deep-seated beliefs? Well, that would be a sense of obligation, sensing the times, knowledge of history, assigning purpose, and taking responsibility for that which has troubled me for my entire life. Don't you think that this will do more harm than good? No. Why do you feel obligated? Because current belief systems have proven to be flawed and deleterious to harmonious human existence. And you think your system will solve that? Yes. It will help by bringing us closer to what we are and help each individual understand life and our position on this planet. Why now? Because many humans do not know what to believe in many places on the earth. About 300 million documented 1995 and over 1 billion in 2007. And it's time we create something else to believe and follow in order to live our lives to the fullest. Additionally, I would like to be around to see some reactions and changes. Do we need to learn anything new? Yes, every day. Many of the concepts here will seem new to many, but most of them are very old. Continue sifting. Do we need to do anything different to be energeticists? In the same way that we are all artists, poets, judges, writers, mathematicians, and assholes, we are these things to the extent that we consider them and practice them. We are many things that we admit and do not admit, as you will see if you make a list of all the things that you think you are and have been. I did that a little in this book. All that energeticism states is exemplified by every organism and every piece of floating matter and energy in this universe. That is why energeticism is so cool. We are already composed of energy. Who do you think you are to think that you could possibly change anyone's beliefs? I am human, just like all those you allowed to change you into what you are now to question me like that. Humans have been the only things that have been changing each other ever since humans were human. I am just another one who has something different to say about how these changes have affected you and everyone else. I do not wish you to leave them, so take them. How do you expect people to take you seriously? By taking themselves more seriously. Why do you think everything is so serious and in need of such dire attention? Turn on your television to the news, history, Discovery, National Geographic, CNN, reread this book, and then ask me that again. What are you doing other than writing and publishing a book? This book is the cornerstone to a mental movement. I imagine that if you like what you see, then you will keep me very busy, and it will be my pleasure to be so. I have plenty of other energetic expressions using other media, ready as I write, and I will do whatever society demands of me within reason. I wish to be a representative of secular energeticism, and only people can bestow that upon me. I will speak, play music, attempt to provide a movie or two. I have a mini-series that I think you will love, and while you're enjoying these products, you may be able to slap a bumper sticker on your car or bike, pop in my music CD or audiobook while wearing the hat and the t-shirt with various slogans, the tenets, the questions, the answers. The cereal will not be healthy though. Big Bangs cereal or Awareness Blasts or Infinite Bliss ice cream where you get a free one for completing and sending a survey. Just brainstorming with you. You tell me. Of course, I will have a website that is not boring. Remember, we are here to alleviate boredom. I will travel to any region of the world to spread and present these ideas. I have a few other creative pieces to offer you as well. What do you expect of all this? I expect your cooperation and worldwide cultural adjustment. What is home? Home is where you are in your brain. How do I channel energetic patterns that I experience? You change energetic patterns by your presence and your awareness. Energy is always channeling through you with or without your awareness. When you are aware of a particular pattern, you can do an infinite number of things to understand and affect its course. It is not as mystical as it may seem to you, and when you grasp it, you will find results that may surprise you. Those type of results will eventually not surprise you as your intentions become clear and appreciated by you and others. How do you get others to realize that they are the universe aware of themselves? Find the awareness, hiding and jumping from one place to the next, somewhere inside that brain, and communicate with it. And then it can communicate to the rest of the brain and all the thousands of energetic patterns that exist within the brain. Throughout this book, your brain has been filtering much of this information away from the awareness, especially when the awareness gets tired. The brain just auto-reads, which is not okay. The awareness needs to see this as well as the brain so that the two do not fight too much within you. Please take note of this if you read this with low levels of awareness. The brain can do unfortunate things with some of this information. There are a few warnings within these pages. Am I what I do? No. You are much more complex than any of the things that you do. Why did my parents indoctrinate me and or entrust other people to indoctrinate me? They did not know any better, nor do any of the other people who are currently indoctrinating you with their culture unless they do know better, in which case I admire them for doing so for you, and you for allowing them to do this. What makes you different than everyone else who has done this or tried? That would be the material and how it is organized. Why do you think that this works? I actually do not know that this will work. How can energeticism be actualized? Simply by being actualized, realized in the minds of humans on a planet. How can I live this? You are living it. What makes you, Matthew, me, so special? You do. I know that you have an infinite number of questions. I thought that these might help you in talking to the universe, especially that part of the brain that forgot it even had questions that still needed answers. Somewhere on this planet are the answers you seek that explain the truth of your position and our position. Until those answers are found, these answers should keep us busy for years to come, not only in accepting them, but also rejecting the answers in our brains that we have come up with over the millennia, thousands of years. Good luck, all. And of course, you may try to ask me while I am here. I intend to have plenty of resources to help you.